Hey everyone, so I'm going to be doing PTSD misconceptions. For you to have PTSD, a trauma has to have occurred before you can develop or be diagnosed. Misconception number one is people who have PTSD are people who have fought in a war. Now, yes, people who have fought in a war will develop or can develop PTSD. However, it's not just that. People can be abused. It could be sexual, physical, emotional abuse, or you could also have seen somebody die, maybe somebody in the family and you've seen them die or pass away, and you can develop PTSD from that. It's not always to do with being in a war. It's all in your head. I think this can relate to a lot of mental illnesses, because a lot of the time if you have a mental illness, people are going to say to you, oh, it's just all in your head, there's nothing wrong with you, which is not true. With PTSD, you can also have physical symptoms, like say if you're having a flashback of something, it can make you physically sick, you can physically throw up, your heart rate goes up, and it's not all in your head. And as I said, with all mental illnesses, people are going to say that, but it's not true, and it's one of the biggest misconceptions for me personally with any mental illness. PTSD sufferers are just weak. Having a mental illness of any sort, or having PTSD, is nothing to do with how weak or strong you are. Anybody can develop it, anybody can have it. It doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anyone, and it is not a result of weak character or a failure in your character. It's nothing to do with that at all. PTSD sufferers are not victims. They are victims, but they're victims not from their choice. No one wants to be a victim in anything, and the fact is that they are, and that's hard to cope with in itself. But when people are going to say that they're not victims at all, that's even harder. PTSD is fake. PTSD is such a real disorder, and about 20% of people who go through a trauma will then go on to develop PTSD. You develop PTSD straight away after a traumatic event. This isn't true. Normally, and this is what happens, is after you have a traumatic event, it takes a long time. It could take quite a few months for you to have PTSD or for PTSD to develop. It could take months or years. I know somebody in my personal life who it took about 20 years. It takes a long time after the event has occurred for you to be able to develop PTSD. PTSD sufferers are always unstable and violent. It's just not true. I know quite a few people who suffer with PTSD through mental health community, and they're the sweetest, kindest, down to earth people I know. And I know people in my real life who suffer with this, and they're so kind, and they're far from violent, far from unstable. Yes, they've had an event that has made them struggle and has made their emotions unstable, but that doesn't make them an unstable person. So no, it does not mean that they are violent and unstable. PTSD sufferers will never recover. people who suffer PTSD or who have done videos on PTSD, they say that they'll never recover. And you know what? I say to that, if you don't go to therapy, if you don't speak to your doctor, if you don't speak to somebody, you won't recover. You need to have the help in place. You need to have a support plan. You need to have a recovery plan in place to help you recover, because otherwise, you're right, you won't. But with the right support and the right help, it's possible. It is so possible. It is more than possible. It's the most possible thing ever. You can definitely recover. Definitely. Reasoning I did this video in particular, PTSD, is because somebody in my life has suffered PTSD, and I think there needs to be more awareness to it as well. I'm always talking about depression, anxiety, self-harm, eating disorders, and all of them need awareness as well. But I think PTSD is one of those topics that does need that little bit of a push to go up there with the rest of the stuff that needs awareness, if that makes sense. Yeah, so if there's any other videos you want me to do, or any misconception videos you'd like me to do, comment below and I'll do them. I haven't been very well the last few days, and I will be putting a video up on that probably tomorrow once I've sorted stuff out. I was in the hospital, as you guys saw, so I have a new blog post up, so I put it up on there. So until the video is up, I will put that below, so you've got all my links and you can go and find me and talk to me. So yeah, please like, subscribe and comment. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more mental health videos. Yeah, I'm still not very well, so I can't tell you when the next video will be up, but I'll try and get back into a routine. But until then, you're going to have to kind of be patient with me, because obviously being in and out of hospital is not great, and being in so much pain isn't good. All I'll say is it's a chronic illness.